And finally, it looks like at least Steve Bannon and the folks at Breitbart have figured out that Paul Ryan is trying to play Donald Trump for a chump. Donald Trump campaigned for president on the promise that, you made a promise a long time ago with Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. And, 1935, 1964, and or 65, I'm not sure what year Medicaid came along. I think it was right around the same time. But you were made a promise a long time ago, and we're going to keep it. We're not going to cut Medicare. We're not going to cut Social Security. We're not going to cut Medicaid. Those were the explicit campaign promises Donald Trump made. And then he turned to Paul Ryan and said, help me keep my campaign promises. And Paul Ryan comes up with a bill that's going to raise money for Paul Ryan. This is going to get the pharmaceutical companies, the hospitals, the insurance companies, at least the insurance company. The American Hospital Association has come out against this. But the insurance companies, this is going to get huge contributions to Paul Ryan. See, the only way a Speaker of the House can remain Speaker of the House, and this is something most people who don't know how Congress works do not realize. The only way Paul Ryan can keep his job as Speaker of the House is to raise millions of dollars a week. He's got to raise tens of millions of dollars, in some cases, well over $100 million throughout the course of the year, and deliver that money to members of his caucus, to Republican candidates. So you've got, say, Darrell Issa in trouble down in San Diego, then, Paul Ryan tosses $500,000 his way and buys some ads in the market or gives it to his campaign. He's basically a money man. So he's got to have the money. And to get the money, he's got to do the bidding of the people who give him the money, which in this case is the insurance companies. These are multi-billion-dollar major, they're banks, basically. These insurance companies, they're not in the healthcare business. They're in the banking business, essentially. They move money around. They're banksters. And as such, they've got access to enormous amounts of money. This is why Stephen Hemsley, the CEO of United Healthcare, has taken over $1 billion out of United Healthcare. Well, if you can take $1 billion to pay yourself and compensate yourself, you can certainly take a few million bucks and throw it to Paul Ryan to do your bidding, right? And that's what's going on. And now Breitbart is reminding. Now, keep in mind the other day when Trump went off on Obama was wiretapping him, it was because there was a story in Breitbart about it. That story got printed out and got stuck into the pile of stuff that he reads on Saturday morning. He read it. He was holy crap, and he tweeted it. This is how Steve Bannon and Breitbart apparently are getting their memes into the head of Donald Trump. And this one is about how in October of last year, a month before the election, the Access Hollywood video came out of Donald Trump talking about grabbing women by their private parts. And Paul Ryan had a conference call with a bunch of Republican members of Congress where he said, I'm not going to defend this guy anymore. Don't talk to me until the election. I'm not going to do it. And it's up to you if you want to defend him or not. In other words, he basically cut Trump loose. Said, we're not attached to this iceberg anymore. And, now Breitbart is reminding Trump that Paul Ryan has not been a reliable friend. Because Paul Ryan is just dancing to the, Paul Ryan is basically a political prostitute. He takes, whoever offers him the most money, that's where he goes. And he continually has to be getting money, and he has to be turning tricks for it. And in this case, the trick that he's turning is called ChumpCare, in my opinion, but they're calling it RyanCare now. And stick around.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
This is not good. This is not good. 24 million people losing their health insurance after the president promised you'll have better health insurance? Not good. This is going to get real interesting because Paul Ryan is basically he is promoting the Koch brothers' view of things, the libertarian view that the government really has no business in healthcare at all. And, I thought it was bizarre this morning when he said about the CBO score that 24 million people are going to lose their health insurance if his plan passes, that he thought it was going to be worse than that. And he's pleased that the scoring from the Congressional Budget Office said, the CBO said that it's actually going to lower the cost of some insurance plans. Well, now, why would that be? Because Obamacare said to the insurance industry, you cannot rip people off anymore. Last year in America, there were over 600,000 bankruptcies that were the result of people getting sick. You know how many people went bankrupt as a result of getting sick in Canada? Zero. Zero. England, zero. Germany, zero. France, zero. Denmark, zero. Sweden, zero. 600,000 in the United States. And the principal way was in all those other countries, basically all your health expenses are covered. Here in the United States, you get to buy insurance, and people used to buy these policies, and even Obamacare. I mean, the lowest end of Obamacare, you can get whacked to the point that you have to declare bankruptcy because of the deductibles. But it used to be that, you could buy a plan for a couple, for $100, $200 a month and think that you had health insurance and not realize, and if you're given 15, 20 pages of tightly spaced, single-spaced, fine print, and you sort of, I can't even read this. And it's not until you get sick that you realize that, it only covers certain hospitals, and it doesn't cover that emergency room, and it doesn't cover this kind of doctor, and the deductible is $20,000 or $50,000, or you're going to have to go bankrupt no matter what. So these plans were so extraordinarily destructive to people, to their customers. These plans were so extraordinarily destructive that we outlawed them. We said, if you're going to sell primary health insurance in the United States, now every other country in the world says if you're going to sell primary health insurance, you can't do it. Right? You can only sell secondary health insurance. You can sell health insurance to rich people that gets them the suite or the entire floor of the hospital or the jet that'll fly you from wherever you happen to be, that kind of stuff. But primary health insurance, you can't do it. The exception is Switzerland. Switzerland allows health insurance companies to sell primary health insurance. In fact, that's the only way you can buy it in Switzerland. But all the companies are required to be not-for-profits. And they're required to operate within very, very small margins. Here in the United States, we guarantee companies 20% profit or 20% overhead. So basically with ChumpCare here, this program that Ryan and Trump want to sell to the Republican suckers, with ChumpCare, they're going to go back to the scam policies. And the sales pitch is going to be, but it's so much cheaper. Well, yeah, there is this thing, you get what you pay for. This is incredible. So who's going to throw who off the bus first?
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 202-808-9925.
Is Trump going to dump Ryan, or is Ryan going to dump Trump? And if he does, what does he do? If he doesn't have a president who will sign his legislation, it's getting interesting.